Hi, I'm Perry. Today we're reviewing Minority Report, starring Tom Cruise, directed by Steven Spielberg. This sci-fi thriller was released in 2002. I remember going to the theater and seeing it back in the day. I really enjoyed this film. Uh, it's kind of a unique story. It relies on really getting people to suspend their disbelief. Because, of course, this is a semi-dystopian, futuristic sci-fi movie. So you really have to hit on all of the points if you're going to make people buy into your story. Tom Cruise does an excellent job. The supporting cast is great. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Cruise got him to build some of these futuristic things just so he could do some stunts with them. That guy's a little bit crazy, but I guess that's why he makes good movies. Now, this is the first Spielberg Cruise collaboration, and I remember at the time this film went over very well. All my friends loved this film. I love this film. And this is probably one of the first films that made me start being a fan of Tom Cruise because I am a big sci-fi fan. So, if you're a sci-fi fan, you need to go check this film out. It does have a few little things here and there, plot holes in the story and whatnot, but they're minor enough that you can overlook them. And upon first viewing, they really don't take away anything from the film. It's just kind of nitpicky little things, and you can probably apply that to any sci-fi movie because, you know, they're only semi-based in reality. Now, let's go check out a little bit of the history, and we'll be back. The film originated from Philip K. Dick's 1956 short story, which had previously been explored as a potential sequel to Total Recall. Writers Ronald Shusett and Gary Goldman initially adapted it with a Mars-based setting and Arnold Schwarzenegger's Douglas Quaid as the protagonist, but this version was abandoned. In 1997, writer John Cohen was hired to restart the project from scratch, creating the foundation for what would become the Spielberg Cruise version. By 1998, Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise officially joined forces, with production planned as a joint venture between 20th Century Fox, DreamWorks, Cruise Wagner Productions, and Jan de Bont's Blue Tulip Productions. Filming was delayed several years due to scheduling conflicts. Cruise's Mission Impossible 2 ran over schedule. Spielberg paused the project to finish Stanley Kubrick's AI after Kubrick's death. These delays allowed screenwriter Scott Frank to significantly rework Cohen's script. Spielberg originally envisioned a different supporting cast: Matt Damon, Meryl Streep, Ian McKellen, Cate Blanchett, but due to delays, all roles except Cruise's had to be recast. Principal photography finally began on March 22, 2001. Although set in Washington, D.C., most filming occurred in Los Angeles, with some exterior shots captured in Georgetown. The film was notable for pioneering entirely digital production design, enabling Spielberg's vision of a plausible near-future world, particularly the pre-crime facility, holographic interfaces, and autonomous vehicles. Spielberg consulted scientists to ensure the future technology felt grounded and predictive, rather than fantastical. Minority Report premiered on June 17, 2002 at Ziegfeld Theater, New York City. followed by its wider US release on June 21, 2002. The film had a production budget of $102 million. The film received strong critical acclaim, praised for its blend of action, noir, and philosophical sci-fi themes. Reviewers highlighted Cruise's performance, Spielberg's direction, and John Williams' score, as well as the film's intelligent, layered mystery structure. IMDb user and critic reviews consistently rate it highly, with a 7.6 out of 10 score, and praise for its originality, suspense, and world building. The film had a worldwide gross of $358.4 million, making it the 10th highest grossing film that year, and is widely regarded as a successful Spielberg-Cruise collaboration. Scholars and critics continue to analyze the film for its commentary on surveillance, free will, and post-9/11 anxieties. Academic work, example D. Harlan Wilson's monograph, frames the film as a major entry in Spielberg's exploration of dystopian futurism and media-driven paranoia. Minority Report takes place in the year 2054 in Washington, D.C. Crimes such as murder have all but been eliminated, thanks to Pre-Crime, a police program that arrests people before they ever commit violent acts. The system relies on three psychic individuals, the precogs. The main character, Chief John Anderton, played by Tom Cruise, is the head investigator for the program. Anderton has a vested interest in crime prevention due to the disappearance of his own son years earlier. He believes in the program completely until one day the precogs generate a vision that shows Anderton in the near future committing a murder himself. This comes as some surprise and is met with disbelief and confusion by Anderton. Anderton decides to run before his colleagues know what has happened. He is determined to understand how he could possibly end up killing someone he's never even met. His investigation leads him to Agatha, played by Samantha Morton, one of the three precogs. Her visions may hold clues that could help prove his innocence, or seal his fate as a guilty man. Danny Whitwer, played by Colin Farrell, a federal agent assigned to audit the pre-crime program, takes the lead in the investigation. Whitwer is skeptical of the validity of the program and suspects the system may not be as flawless as it seems. Anderton uncovers clues that indicate the possibility of purposefully suppressed precog visions. If the visions can be altered or suppressed, the future may not be as fixed as pre-crime claims. Anderton's search eventually leads him to confront the forces behind pre-crime's creation and continued operation. He discovers that the prediction involving him may be part of a larger pattern, one that raises serious questions about free will, justice, and who truly benefits from a system that claims to be perfect. The film's final act resolves the central mystery while staying focused on the ethical implications of predicting and punishing crimes before they occur. Without revealing specifics, the ending forces both the characters and the audience to reconsider whether a safe future is worth the cost of personal freedom. John Anderton, played by Tom Cruise, the protagonist and chief of pre-crime. Haunted by personal loss, he believes in the system until it turns on him. His journey drives the film's exploration of free will and justice. Agatha, played by Samantha Morton, the most powerful precog. Her visions are central to the mystery, and her connection to Anderton adds emotional weight to the story. Danny Whitwer, played by Colin Farrell, a federal investigator auditing pre-crime. Intelligent and skeptical, he represents outside scrutiny and the possibility that the system may be flawed. Lamar Burgess, played by Max von Sydow, the director of pre-crime and Anderson's mentor. His influence and authority shape the program's future and its secrets. The film uses its thriller structure to dramatize a philosophical debate. If the future can be known, can it still be changed? The film anticipates real-world debates about algorithmic justice, risk assessment tools, and the erosion of legal safeguards. In a society where technology enables punishment before the crime, questions arise about autonomy and state control. These questions, raised in the theme, resonate even more today, with facial recognition, data mining, and tracking technologies becoming ubiquitous. The film warns that even well-intentioned systems can become oppressive when left unchecked. Minority Report is an early example of a film that tries to integrate fully digital set pieces in with actors interacting with them. So this can have a little bit of an effect on the special effects. Some of the scenes look a little bit drab. That's also enhanced by the fact that the color scheme chose in this movie is a lot of grays and blues because of the setting in the dystopian future. So I don't think it really hinders anything in the film that much, but it may be a little bit noticeable to some people, especially since this film is now over 20 years old. Okay. Obviously, most people know that Steven Spielberg is a fantastic director. He's directed many great films over the years, the most famous of which is probably Jaws or maybe E.T. And he completely delivers on this film exactly the kind of quality that you would expect from a director like him. And his collaboration with Tom Cruise is excellent. Tom Cruise brings like the crazy action and fast pace that he always brings, and this does not disappoint. This is right in the middle of him making his earlier Mission Impossible films, and he brings the same type of energy to this film. The supporting cast is really good too. It's got Colin Farrell, who at this time, back then, I really didn't like Colin Farrell, but he's grown on me over the years, and he really does do a very good job in this movie. His character is very important and he's well played, but I think my favorite supporting cast member is Max von Sydow. I just remember him from things like The Seventh Seal, and I always thought that he was just a fantastic actor and always brings like a charisma and a very like poignant performance to every film that I've seen him do. I really, really enjoy seeing him in movies, so anytime that I see his name in the credits, it's a pretty good thing that's going to get me to go watch the film. Now, one of the best parts about films like this is sci-fi is a medium that allows you to really take somebody into a different world, but it might allow you to, within that world, put forth a few like themes and things that you can apply to the world that we live in now without directly calling out anybody or any institution or anything like that and trying to make a controversial film. You're just trying to make a statement for the future that might make people think a little bit about our current situation and where we're going. And I highly recommend this film to any sci-fi fan. You are not going to be disappointed by this one, and I think you'll have a great time. Even if you're new to sci-fi, this is a pretty easy one to sink your teeth into because it doesn't really have a whole crazy lot of sci-fi like Star Trek or Star Wars or something. It's in the near future. It has technologies that don't seem that crazily out of reach right now. So you're going to be able to get a hold of this one a little bit easier if you're not a big time sci-fi fan. And I think you're going to enjoy it just the same as anyone that is a big sci-fi fan. Alright, well, thank you all for coming out, and I'll see you next time.